All right, so obviously, me and Amy have been waiting on the birth of our second child, and that happened Monday. So we got a new addition.
Woo.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Happens all the time.
Whatever.
Not with you, though.
All over the country, all over the world. So it feels a little weird to get congratulated, but it is awesome. Amy had a pretty good pregnancy, and she said it felt like it was a long one because of the COVID and all that.
Oh man, yeah.
But we're not gonna have it. We're not gonna complain because we got a healthy little baby girl, and her name is Nicole Lorraine. Nicole is Amy's middle name, and Lorraine is my mom's middle name.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we didn't we didn't choose anything that connected with Isla. Isla's name is Isla Rose, and
right.
There's nothing about that name that has any history in our family. But that's the name we liked, and with Lorraine or Nicole, we still haven't really figured out where we're going as far as what we're going to call her. But it just, I don't know. It's funny how you choose the name.
Oh, it's complicated.
It's not an easy process.
No.
It's funny because you're not going to choose it. The wife's going to choose it. But then you're involved, but you're not choosing it. So it's kind of you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out kind of thing for the guy. Anyways, it's an odd position to be in. You're going to have some influence, I guess, over the ones that you don't like, because there were a couple names that Amy liked for Isla and for Lorraine, and I did get to influence her away from those, but I didn't feel like I got to influence her toward any. That was okay.
Okay.
You know what you do if you're listening, guys, and you're in this position, you just sit back. The name that they, you can obviously, be vocal about the names that you're not a big fan of. Don't be too vocal about the ones you do like. She's going to really kind of narrow that down for you. You don't even have to do that work. And then when she lands on like the 2 or 3 options, it's probably going to be one that you're okay with, then that's the one.
So, okay, I got a million questions about this. So, first of all,
Let me be clear.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me wrap that up real quick. And when I mean okay with, that you like as well. Right?
Sure.
Not that you're like,
mutually.
yeah, that's decent.
Yeah.
Because Nicole Lorraine to me is great. I love that it's got, I love all the things about it. And Amy loved it. I was not, I guess the point I'm trying to make is don't force it. With me and Amy, we didn't figure out the name till like the very back end of the pregnancy.
That was one of my questions. Like, when did you guys settle on this?
Right.
Like, how long ago?
It took just recently.
Okay.
We had a totally different. We were going in another direction for months, and then right at the end of her pregnancy, we both just sat down and said, "You know what? I don't know if that's the one. Let's go with let's open it up to discussion and start from scratch." And we ended up with Nicole Lorraine, which. And it's funny too. They, she's like, "What are we gonna call her? Nicole, Lorraine?" We're asking Isla, "What should we call her, Isla?" And I'm like, you know what? We should just wait till she's here, and it'll be obvious. What you're gonna call her? All those things are so fun. That's there's a lot about it that's fun, but the name part to me is kind of the most not humorous, but jovial sort of part of the whole process.
Can also be stressful if you let it. I mean, it sounds like you guys worked well together, and it sounds like you
She's
worked
stressed.
it well because you did not force your side. That could get complicated. Now, Lorraine is your mom's middle name?
Yes.
So did you not suggest that, or was that Amy's idea?
Amy's.
Okay, so that's even cooler for you. You really got to.
I think that lies right in the advice that I'm trying to give you is, man, don't really even interject ideas on what the name should be. Just be mildly vocal on the ones that you're not a big fan of. And she's not going, if your wife's like Amy, she's not going to want to name the child something that you're not really into, right? But let them sort of navigate toward the name that you're going to end up with, and I think that really worked best. With Isla, I tried to like be 50-50 partner with Amy on helping with the name, what names. We had a whole list. I had my favorites. She had hers. And when it came down to it, the ones that were in the conversation were all in her column, right? And so at the end, I went, you know what? I did a lot more work and I stressed over that and really put a lot too much effort into that. It wasn't necessary. And so with this baby, I was like, I'm just going to lay back and this will happen. It's going to figure itself out. And I didn't. It's funny because everything about the second one's been that way. Like, gonna lay back, chill. This is gonna figure itself out. It's funny how when we came home with Isla, we were a ball of nerves. We were freaking out. You get home and you're like, I can't believe they let us take this home.
Right.
Like they let us be.
I'm not this responsible. What are they doing?
Yeah. And so, and then when we had Nicole in the hospital, we're like, when can we get out of here? Let's get out of here. What are we doing? What are we sitting here for? Yeah. Do all the checks.
We got things to do at home.
Let's go home. Yeah. And we drive home, and there's no basket of nerves on the way home that you typically have with the first one. Your basket of nerves driving. And then we get home, and it's just been smooth.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So it's been good. The whole first day, our new little girl was extremely quiet, really quiet. Just a little whimper here and there when she had a dirty diaper or was hungry. But oddly, just real quiet. The whole room for the first 24 hours where we're staying, it was just us and the TV. And so that kind of added to the, hey, let's get out of here. And we got home. The first night she didn't sleep super well, so that was kind of concerning because Amy's like, oh no, she might be nocturnal and she's upside down as far as our schedules and hers, and you want them to sleep at night and all those things so you can kind of operate during the day. And but the last night was a great night. She slept really good, and so that's a positive. It's funny. She's only been here, I don't know, less than 72 hours or something like that. But it's going great.
It sounds like she's chill.
Going very smooth. She is super quiet, doesn't cry. The only time she has ever cried is when she's obviously saying, when she's hungry, she'll start crying, and you just get her up and start to feed her, and she's fine. Typically, she stops crying as soon as you pick her up. She gets a little upset on some dirty diapers, some of those, not all of them. But man, she's it's early. This all could change in 180 degrees in a minute. But so far, so good.
Take it day by day, right?
Yeah.
It's so all right. Am I wrong, or were you and Amy more tight-lipped about this week than you were with Isla?
So. We didn't post a picture of Isla until about 2 weeks after she was born. Obviously we were all giddy and excited and happy to put that news out there as soon as it happened with Isla. But I feel like I don't know. It's with everything going on with the pandemic, and people are occupied, they're busy, they got things going on in their lives. For whatever reason, here in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 months, it hasn't felt like the kind of place, the social media for me, hasn't felt like the kind of place where I need to be going on there and telling you how awesome my day is and how great everything is in my life. And how this is amazing and that's amazing. And, you know what I did today? Something super trivial that really going to probably piss you off.
That's how you look at it.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, honestly, I've really kind of took a break, honestly, from social media. I post a few things here and there, but very, very minimal. But basically because to spend more time with Amy in this pregnancy, and spend more time I got to where I was on my phone all day, every day.
Yeah.
All day, every day, literally, just for no reason. And there's so many things that I want to be doing, hobbies and interests of my own that I'm not doing because I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
So my family, all that was suffering from it. But I needed to just kind of take a break and reroute a little bit. But I don't know what the proper, what is the way you do it? Is it necessary? I don't know. That whole exchange is a bit awkward.
You're talking about an actual baby announcement, though,
yes.
like a public
yes.
announcement,
for
right?
sure. So it's an awkward exchange for me. It feels like it is. And Amy, it's kind of her. It again goes to basically everything else about the pregnancy. It's kind of Amy's decision,
yes.
right? She's gonna pick the picture that we decide to share.
Yes.
She's going to. I'm not going to instigate this. I'm not going on my social media and doing this. This is her thing, right? And that's another. I mean, I'm sure there's some guys out there that probably don't know that, right? And
well, as far as their own relationships,
no,
how that
right.
works, yeah.
Yes.
Well, they'll learn.
Oh my gosh!
And if they
that
don't,
is a hard lesson to learn.
Well, I mean, and sometimes you learn the hard way because it doesn't work.
Right.
I mean, but yeah, it goes back to even the naming of it. It's like it's so crazy, and I can't explain it. But there's something instinctual with women when they go through the 9 months of pregnancy. What you said, it'll become clear what this baby's name is, and you guys were going a direction, but then later in the pregnancy, it seems like you said that y'all were going a different direction with what you ended up with.
Sure.
It's crazy how this happens, but man, there's something instinctual within a woman when they develop the relationship with that baby inside them that they know. They know things like, oh, this doesn't feel right. This feels right. My wife went through the same thing with both of our kids. It's like, there was even types of music that she would listen to that the baby would be more active in. Yeah. And so and it was just like they developed a relationship before she was even born.
Yeah.
And so I get that. Mm-hmm. But going back to the announcement then, right, you're right. That's Amy's to do,
yes.
Which makes me concerned about what we're doing right now. Because I don't think you've announced it yet, have you?
No.
Okay, so is Amy going to get mad at us for talking about this?
I told her we were going to talk about it on the show, and so I think that it's okay, and she won't be too.
Wait, it's not confident. Let me know, because I could scrap this and put just elevator music or something. Yeah.
No, I don't think that it's a big deal to be conversational about our new baby, but I think that. Yeah, for putting out a post or sharing to the world, that is an important. That to me, I'd be like, "Hey, y'all had a baby."
Right. Oh,
let me go through my phone. There's a pic here. Take a look. Yeah. But for a woman and for Amy, they're like, she's already called and scheduled the family photos. We're gonna spend a half a day getting this right picture. We did that with Isla. We spent a half a morning, half a day taking family photos right after she was born, and we didn't use none of those. We ended up using one we took that we liked better at my mom's house for a small family gathering by the pool, and so. She's gonna do that, and that's her thing. So, and I'm not to interrupt or disrupt that, but I will say, for anybody who's curious, man, when I look at her, so we had Isla, and people probably do this if you got kids, you know this. As soon as your family, friends, as soon as they lay eyes on this kid, they go, "Oh, she looks like you," or "She looks like your wife," or "She looks like your husband," or "Man, she got your eyes, she's got your mouth." All those things, they just do it immediately, and they look for that resemblance. And with Isla, we have there's a lot of people, there's a couple Instagram accounts like dedicated to Isla and Dad and their comparisons, right? It's kind of strange. But
no, it's very strange.
Well, the funny thing about it is I thought it was strange too until friends started saying the same thing. Like people that I trust and know would be like, man, she looks like your dad a lot. And then I got less creeped out by the Instagram accounts because I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's okay that they feel that way because my friends are saying the same thing. So is that weird?
I still think it's creepy. I mean, Isla could have a mustache, and I would still think it's creepy that people are sitting there putting Instagram accounts out there. But that's just me.
I hear you. But so I guess with Isla, I didn't see any resemblance between me and Amy. Man, we looked. She had Amy's mouth, maybe. It's just she's changed so much. They come out, and they change in 24 hours.
That's true. They do.
It's wild.
They do.
And but honestly, so with Isla, I never could see either one, me or Amy. It felt like it was like this sort of mixture that wasn't really obvious. But with Nicole, and this is weird for me to say, but I look at her and I see so much of myself.
Okay.
She looks, I see, it's like looking at in a mirror when I look at her.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. Now, it may change in 24 hours, but I mean, as soon as I saw her, I was like, oh my God, it's like a baby me. I like looking at my baby self. And every time I look at her, I see her, I look at her and look at her and look at her, and I keep seeing it. And it's the craziest thing because it was not that way with Isla. And even though people would say, man, she looks like you or she looks like Amy, I could never see what they were seeing. But with I
can't do that with my own daughters, to be honest with you.
It's so hard. I can see a little bit of you in your daughters, but it's not super clear.
Yeah.
Whereas, I see like a mixture of you and your wife and your kids, much like I see that in Isla of me and Amy.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, it was very distinct.
So
with Nicole.
So I got two other questions. One is, how is Isla doing with a new sister? Is there been any kind of?
Okay. So Amy was really worried. This is a good question, Mike. And this was because we had an extraordinary moment. Amy was really worried. You're thinking, man, Isla has had so much attention. We have really poured it on. I'm learning now that we've probably overdone it a little bit when it comes to showing her attention and love and all those things.
We all do.
She's like, I love this sister. I need another one.
Well,
if I get this much attention.
So, this is like in the first 2.5 years of Isla's life. So we were worried that when we brought Nicole home that Isla was going to be freaked out. Like, what is this? No, and me and Amy were talking about this on the way home. I was like, I'm having a strange feeling. She's like, yeah. She's like, it's kind of like Isla didn't get to go to the hospital, didn't get to see us at the hospital and see the baby and understand or try to put it together that we went to the hospital to have the baby and that this is this new addition to our family. We're going to bring her home into the house and different. Hey, guess what? There's another person here. We really compared it to the probably shock or the surprise for our dog Junebug when we brought Gus home. You just show up and you've got this other animal that's going to be coming into the house, and Junebug's like, what? What's this? Why do we need this? Right? And so we were really worried that Isla was going to have that reaction. Like, what is she here for? Can someone take her home?
Yeah. Why, you mean she's staying?
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't know she was staying. Sisters don't stay, do they?
Is this Tammy's?
Is this Tammy? Did you get this at the grocery store? What is this?
Where's she staying? Whose house is she going to? Whose house is she going to? We were just worried that she was going to have this sort of rejection at first. Because when we would try to talk to Isla about the baby, when she was inside Amy's belly, Isla would ignore it and turn her back and play with toys and just really didn't want to have a conversation about it. And so But anyways, we get into the house. I have a video of it, and the Nicole's Nicole's by the couch, and we take Isla in there, and we're like, Isla, there's a new person in the house. Your little sister is finally here. We've been telling you about it, and we walk her in there, and she leans down, and she's like, oh, she's so cute. She just says that right out of her mouth, and she says, she was in this little rocking bassinet thing. She's like, can I rock her? And I was like, yeah, just really? Very gently. Sweet. To do it. Dude, she was like, she got down on her knees and put her little chin on the edge of the bassinet and was just looking at her, and it was a great moment.
Oh, yeah.
And Amy broke down.
Yeah.
Like, Amy walked away saying to herself, I am so mad at myself for doubting my daughter, Isla. And her reaction to this, like I should have given her more credit. Amy was so upset with herself. I didn't have that reaction. I was like, "This is amazing," but Amy was like, "I'm a little bummed out at myself for not believing that Isla was capable of having this type of reaction." Moms are extremely emotional as it is, right? In this particular time, so Isla's been great. She's loved it. So far, so good. I mean, it feels like we just brought her home like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But everything's been going well.
How did you do? I mean, I think us guys can now ask the questions. We know Amy's doing well. We know Isla and Nicole are doing well. When it was go time and you guys went, I mean, like I did some uncharacteristically stupid things in that moment.
We knew that we were having the baby on Monday.
So there wasn't that moment of surprise.
So there wasn't. Yeah, with Isla. There was the moment of surprise and let's go, and it was just this wild frenzy to get there and go through the process. With Nicole, we knew when we were having the baby, we knew when to be at the hospital. We were super sure she was going to come before. The funny thing is that Isla's birthday is one day after Dad's, and we thought that Nicole would be destined to come a day after my birthday, which is the 10th of October. Well, she ended up coming the 12th, but or we had her the 12th, which was the day that we had designated to have her, and so with that knowledge of, hey, we're going to have this baby, we're going to drive up there, and this is going to be the process. It was very calm, relaxed, nothing to it. We got into the room, and everything, went according to plan.
We didn't even know y'all were in the hospital when,
Well, the funny thing is I don't know what that's all about. So the lack of communication and I told Amy, I said, man, we must be extremely selfish because we haven't been communicating with anyone that, hey, we plan to have the baby this day. Oh, by the way, we've had the baby. Here's a picture of the baby. I mean, we've literally only shared I could count on my hands the people that have seen a picture of her. And it's not because we're intentionally being secretive or limited. It just has not crossed our mind. It's the funniest thing. We're in this, I don't know whether it's the state of the world or the country with the pandemic or whatever, but we are really in this bubble. And when we're at home with Isla and our new baby, we think of nothing else. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is. It's just selfishness or whatever it is. I don't know, but we literally get I get text messages from people that I was texting them the minute after Isla was born. Hey, guess what? Check out this picture. And we're getting texts from people like, hey, is the baby here? And we're like, oh, yeah. Hey, yes, you. You're one. I should have sent you. Yes, this. I should have told you.
That reminds me of a conversation you and I had where first of all, on Monday when I found out from, I think maybe even Kelly that you guys were at the hospital. Yeah. And I remember you said last week that you guys were planning to have the baby. So I knew it was coming, Monday. And so, but by Monday night, I sent you a text because I was like, hey, are y'all okay? I was just like, I just was starting to get worried because I had not heard anything.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, everything is awesome. And you sent me a picture and then you said that word. You said, I feel like we're probably being selfish. And I said, man, you have the right to be selfish right now. Enjoy that time. I just will make sure you're okay. And then when you and I talked the next day, I said, hey, listen, there's a lot of people asking if you're okay. I mean, they're just concerned about y'all because they know you were supposed to have the baby and they haven't heard anything. And you said, like who? And I'm like, I don't know. The folks at NBC. Oh, I guess I should call them then, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, probably give your boss a heads up that, you've had they're worried about you.
The fact, I mean, just how oblivious we've been to everything, like the whole outside world. I mean, literally anybody outside of the house is shocking to me, but it's nothing intentional. It's just like we have went into this sort of, we're just blacked out. We're in like blackout mode where there's nothing exists but this little baby and Amy and Isla, and we're just kind of in this tiny bubble.
And it's enjoyable.
It's great, but we're kind of like slowly waking up to, oh, hey, everybody else is here.
Yeah.
The rest of the world.
Right.
My job. Oh, right. Yeah, that thing I do.
I think you know what it is, too? Like when you had Isla, we were all just like, oh, we were so, like, us. I can only speak for us.
Yeah.
We were so excited. And now it's like, okay, we know you had the baby, and we're so excited. And it's like, well, we hope he's good, and we hope he's excited.
Yeah.
And
like my job hasn't crossed my mind. Yeah. I have not not lifted a finger to prepare for this weekend.
Don't.
But that's nice.
But I mean, I will. I need to.
Right.
Like I got to start to sort of get the wheels in motion because I'm going to fly to the race on Saturday.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, like I'm going to work.
Oh.
But I haven't like even thought about like 1 minute about it. But
you can crunch. You can crunch.
You'll be fine. Yeah. Your teammates will take care of you.
Well, I tell you what, this was awesome. I'm so happy that Nicole is at home and that you guys are happy and that you guys experienced a few days of just, enjoying each other in peace without work and the stresses of going on outside. You deserved it. Amy deserved it big time.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for you. And that is why we are late on this podcast this week, but I know that everybody is also going to appreciate the fact that you guys took time for yourselves and that we, as the podcast, didn't go do a half episode with us. Like, yeah, we thought about it. We could have a guest in here, and I could, me and Matthew and Leah could do it. But it's like, no, it just didn't feel right. I'd rather wait till you get back and let's.
For everybody listening, I encouraged Mike and the team to find a guest host and try to put together a show with a guest. Bring in a guest host as well.
Right.
And try to give you guys a good episode. But this is the great thing about a podcast is it's kind of fluid, and when life happens and things get in the way, you can kind of make the podcast can move and maneuver and adapt. So and this is good. It's nice to just sit down and talk about it and get caught back up, and maybe this is what's going to get the wheels in motion to get me back on the road to reality.
It will. And one more thing is that this podcast will be in that memory capsule for you in 20 or 30 years when you guys look back at Nicole, that you can enjoy this. And by the way, if you did have a list of potential names, I'd encourage you, don't go throw that away because that's fun in 10 years. I know this from firsthand experience of reviewing those names. Like, wow, what were we thinking on some of these? And also reviewing them with your daughter, which is fun. Like, you were really close to being called this. But that's all fun.
Yeah. It's been an awesome week of bliss and ignorance and living in our own little world, but time to get back to it. And it'd be nice to sort of let everybody know everybody's great. Nicole's great. Amy's great. It's been a seamless transition into the household, and things are good.